Hello, stamping friends. Welcome. Welcome to those of you that are watching this live, and welcome to those of you that are watching the replay. I am Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Florida. Today is my day 3 of my 4-day kickoff celebration of our new mini and spring, January to April mini catalog and celebration. Now, today I'm going to be using a celebration item, and that means that you can earn this free by placing a $50 order. And I'm going to be using the Watercolor Melon. If you do not love this stamp set yet, I think you will by the end of today, because I have definitely fallen in love with the Watercolor Melon stamp set. During my 4-day kickoff, I'm having an ordering special, and it's going on now through Monday, January the 15th. You can place any size order with me and receive a free tutorial bundle. And that will include the projects that I'm making during this 4-day kickoff, plus tutorials from 2 other demonstrators. And they will have step-by-step directions, measurements in inches and metrics, and color photos. But you do need to use the host code. So I'm going to put the host code up there in the corner. You can jot that down. There is a link in the description which you can just click on, and the host code is embedded in that if you'd like to place an order with me. And I think it's time to turn the camera down so we can do some stamping. So I'm just going to try to click the right buttons here, and here we go. All right. So I'm going to show you the items we're going to use today. We're going to be using 2 items from the Sale-A-Bration catalog and then 1 from the mini catalog. And then right here is my host code. I will be moving that in just a little bit when we start stamping. So in our celebration, and if you're not familiar with Sale-A-Bration, it is going on now through the end of February. So when you place a $50 order, you can choose a free item. So the more that you buy, of course, the more items that you can choose free. So if you purchase, or if you spend $200, you can choose 4 $50 items out of the celebration, or you can mix and match, because we do have some free items that are, you have to place a $100 order to receive that free. But you can, so again, for every $50, you get a free item, and you can order as much as you want. All right. So this on page 4 of the celebration, as I mentioned, we're going to use that Watercolor Melon stamp set. And I'm going to be honest, I almost didn't choose this as a free item, but I am so happy and so glad that I did, because I've really fallen in love with this, and I hope that I can convince you to fall in love with it too when you see the projects today. And then on page 6, the last 2 days, I've been using this free Flight and Airy 12 by 12 designer series paper, which is our pattern paper. I'm going to be using it again today on our projects. I just love this paper. And because, if you notice, our Watercolor Melon stamp set does not have any greetings, so you could choose any greetings from any stamp sets that you have. But on page 14, there is a stamp set called Softly Sophisticated, and it also comes with an embossing folder. But today, we're just going to be using some of the sentiments for our cards. And then in our mini catalog, we're going to be using the embellishments, the gems, on page 33 I just love these. These are the rainbow adhesive back dots. There's 160 pieces. There's 20 each of 8 colors. How fantastic is that? You have flirty, flamingo, pool party, petal pink, lemon lolly, azure, afternoon, bubble bath, balmy blue, and fresh freesia. This is definitely going to be a popular uh, embellishment because it has so many different colors that you can use on your cards. So again, as I mentioned, we're going to be using the Watercolor Melon, and we're going to be using the sentiments from Softly Sophisticated. And both of these are, you can get these free by placing a qualifying order. And then this is that beautiful Flight and Airy paper. I love birds. And we have the beautiful flowers, and the colors are just awesome. So you'll get 12 sheets, double-sided. And I am just going to turn these over on the back. And we are going to be using this for one of the cards. And then we're going to be using this for our first card. And then our third card, we're going to be just using cardstock. All right. Well, I know we want to get started and stamping. If you missed day 1 and day 2 of my kickoff celebration, you can go back and watch that. And just really quick, I'm going to show you my cards on the day 1. So these are the cards from day 1 of my kickoff. Again, using a celebration dogwood detailed. And then yesterday on day 2, I used the Jungle Pals, and we made a backwards Z fun fold. So how cute are these? I mean, I just love those critters in the Jungle Pals stamp set. All right, well, let's get started. And I'm going to start with a piece of basic white. And this is 3 by 4 1/4. And I'm going to be using a blending brush today. And I have a few tips along the way. So stay with me so you can hear those to make your stamping hopefully a little bit easier. And I'm going to be using Lost Lagoon. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up ink, Lost Lagoon ink, and then I'm going to start off on my grid paper and then start on my basic white. So pick up ink and then start off. And the reason I'm starting off because I don't want that little glob. And we're going to be adding some more. So you just keep adding until you get how much ink that you would like. And I want a little bit more. So I'm kind of making this like maybe like the grass because we're going to be adding our watermelon. We can think spring, right? I don't know where you're at. I know some of you, it may be spring or summer, but it is a winter season. Now here in Florida, we've been getting a lot of rain, but I know a lot of you are getting a lot of snow and ice. So I am bringing it up a little bit all the way, but mostly I want the darker part to be in the lower half of the card. And I'll have a sample of this card to show you too. but I used a little bit different colors. Now we'll do it one more time. All right, can you see that? Okay, so I'm going to lay this aside right now. And we are going to continue with some stamping. And so I have some scraps. And I'm going to bring in our watermelon. And I'm going to be using Lost Lagoon. And so I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. Now this stamp set does not have dies, but it does have a coordinating punch. Let me show you. So it has a modern oval punch, which is in our spring catalog on page 35. So I guess I'm actually using two items, the embellishments and, well, no, I'm not. I'm actually only using one, the embellishments, because I do not have this oval, modern oval punch, but it does, if you do, it punches that out. But this is a fairly easy image to just cut out freehand. So we will just go ahead, and as I cut around this, I'm leaving a little bit of the white, because if you were using the oval punch, the modern oval punch, then you would have a little bit of white showing. Okay, I'm going to lay that aside, and I will come back to that scrap. I think what we're going to do is bring in our card base, and this is just a regular card base. I've already folded it, so it is 8.5 by 5.5, and I have scored it at 4 1/4. Then I'm going to bring in some designer series paper. It's the Flight and Airy, which is also free with a qualifying $50 purchase. And then we are going to adhere this to the left of our card. Now you could adhere it like this to have some white showing, but I'm going to take it all the way over to the end of the card like this. Oh, it's so hard for me to add adhesive to the beautiful side with the birds. And we get that lined up like we want. And you can always double check on the back and see I have a little bit here, so I need to bring that in. Sometimes tapping that helps. If not, that's one of the things I like about the our green glue, is that you can still move it a little bit, get a little bit of room. Now I want to make sure I have it covered over here on the left. I'm going to have sticky hands, aren't I? But that's okay, because that's part of crafting, right? Okay, so I'm going to lay this aside and bring in Sweet Sorbet. And this Sweet Sorbet is 4 3/4 by 3.5. And then I have cardstock Flirty Flamingo, and this is 4.5 by 3.25. So I'm going to add the Flirty Flamingo to my Sweet Sorbet layer. Get that lined up. Okay, and then I'm going to lay that aside, and I'm going to bring back our basic white that we added Lost Lagoon ink on with our blending brush, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment at the top, and I'm going to be using I Really Appreciate You from the Softly Sophisticated, which is a celebration item. And we're going to bring in Flirty Flamingo. And I guess I need to grab the sentiment. Here we go. All right, I really appreciate you. Get that lined up. And then we'll ink this up. And hopefully it'll be straight. I'll use the line on the grid paper to line up my basic white layer. I really appreciate you. Now I'm going to bring that scrap paper back in, and we're going to stamp using Sweet Sorbet. So I need to clean my stamp, my sentiment stamp. And we're going to ink this up again in Sweet Sorbet. And I am going to stamp right here, because we are going to highlight one of our sentiment words in a different color. So that will kind of highlight it. And then I will take my scissors and we will cut around the U. Whoop. And I can see just a little bit of that ink there. There we go. All right. Now, before we put our card together, I'm going to stamp some leaves on here. So I'm going to bring in Garden Green. And I'm going to bring our leaves. Now I'm going to use, I'm going to place our watermelon right here, because I want to make sure that my leaves are showing. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. And I'm going to stamp that about right there. And then you'll be able to see some of those leaves. And then we're going to ink it up again. And then I'm going to place it right here. All right, let me clean my stamp. And we're going to put our card together. So let's bring in all of our pieces now. And we're going to go ahead and add our Sweet Sorbet and our Flirty Flamingo layers. I have two other cards to show you, and I'm going to give you some tips on another stamp that's in this stamp set. Okay, so we're just going to add those layers, get that lined up, and then on this we're going to turn it over and we're going to add some dimensionals. So we're going to pop up our basic white layer that we used our blending brush for and added Lost Lagoon to kind of make it look like grass. Or take these backings off. Now don't forget, leave a comment in the comment section for a chance at a random drawing for a prize. So we pop that up, and then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pop up our watermelon. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing by clicking that subscribe button. And I'd love for you to give me, if you like this card today, give me a thumbs up, because it does help YouTube to push the video out to more people, and I appreciate you watching. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add our watermelon right there. We have our leaves, and then of course we want to add our little extra sentiment. Make sure that that doesn't show. And I have another card like this, but I used a different color for one of the layers that I will share with you in a second. Then we're just going to add this right over I need to put it down so we don't run into our appreciate. Let's go ahead and just bring this down right here, like that. There we go. Still think I need to bring it down just a little bit. Okay, I really appreciate you. Now, let's add our embellishments. And again, these are called rainbow adhesive back dots. So we could add, I think we're going to add the flirty flamingo. I think that would be the best because we have a flirty flamingo layer, right? So I am going to put one right there. I'm going to put it down here. That'll draw your. So here is our first card. I really appreciate you. And you could do some stamping on the inside. I didn't on this particular card. Let me show you my sample card. So these are both the same, except here I used, we used sweet sorbet, and here I use melon mambo for my first layer. So you can decide whether you like the melon mambo or the sweet sorbet the first, and then I stamp the U in melon mambo. So here are my first two cards. Now my next card, I'm going to bring in a piece of basic white, and this is 3.5 by 5. And on this card, we're going to be using some other images. We're going to be using like the slice of watermelon. So we are going to bring in Flirty Flamingo. And we're going to be using Garden Green ink and Black Memento ink for this. So my tip is when you're going, because I'm going to be adding, instead of using DSP, I'm going to kind of make my own. I'm going to be adding the slices of watermelon all over this card layer. So I want to start in the middle and work out. You find that helps you. So we will just randomly, and see, I love these the impressions of the watermelons. That watercolor is just so awesome. All right, so that's the first step. And then we're going to come back with Garden Green. I'm going to ink this up. And then we're just going to go ahead. And if you don't get it exactly right, that's okay. So again, this is my day 3 of my kickoff celebration for the mini and the celebration catalogs. So both of them are new catalogs. And I'm showing you a lot of celebration items. I want you to fall in love with those because they are awesome. And also some of the products in our mini catalog because they are also awesome. I don't know, this may be one of my favorite spring catalog and celebration. Okay, I think I've got all of those. So this is, see how quick and easy it comes together. And now we're going to come in with our black. And then we have these little seeds. And now you could stamp these off so they're not quite as dark if you wanted to. So we're kind of making our own DSP. And you could even turn these a little bit if you wanted to, because as we know with watermelon, seeds aren't always in exactly the same place, right? There we go. Okay. So I wanted to show you how to stamp these slices of watermelon and how to start from in the middle to go out. That works the best. Now let me show you the card that I finished doing this. I'm not going to make it on camera, but here is the card. So again, this is like this. These two are the same. And then I went ahead and used a circle punch. And then I used not a blending brush. And why the name escapes me, I do not know. But I have some here, of course, so let me look. Oh, goodness. Or maybe you can tell me. Sponge daubers. Okay, so I used sponge daubers and added some garden green around the side. And then I popped up a slice of watermelon and then used our linen thread, which I love our linen thread, and attached that with a glue dot. And then I added a layer of garden green behind. So this is our second card. I did not put any embellishments on here, but you certainly could. And I would probably maybe put one or two on the circle punch. And then my third card, I used the Designer Savers paper from Flight and Airy in our celebration. I used a scallop contour layer that I cut out, and then basic white, and again did the stamping, and then added hello there, and the sentiments are from a celebration item called Softly Sophisticated, which also comes with a embossing folder, and it is one of the level 2. To earn that free, you need to place a $100 order. But our watercolor melon is free with a $50 order. Okay, before I show you all 3 cards together, I have something I want to share with you. I'd like to invite you for our 5th online global retreat. This is going to be February 9th and the 10th, but you need to register now. Registration ends on Sunday, January 14th of 2024. Here in the United States, the full retreat is $79, and that does include shipping. And with that full retreat, you get a goodie bag, make and takes. You get a goodie bag with $25 of product, make and takes, pillow gifts, and tutorials. And then we do have a second option, which is an online access pass only that you can read about in the description. There's a link. You can click on that, and it gives you all the full details. But again, registration ends Sunday, January 14th. So don't delay. This is our 5th, and we have so much fun. We have a Zoom before our retreat. So we have a kickoff celebration for our retreat on Zoom, where we meet all of you, the crafters, and you get to meet us, the host, because I've teamed up with Sarah Boland from Australia, Connie Douglas from Canada, and Louise Daniels from the United Kingdom to bring the online global retreat. And then we also have an after party on Zoom after the retreat. If you can't be there live, you'll have access to the videos, lifetime access. All right, so let's bring in all the cards for today that we made. So here's our first card, and then here's the second card, and here's the third card. So those are the 3 cards that we made. Let me turn the camera back up. With a couple of little clicks. All right, there you are. Okay, well, what did you think? Let me know in the comment which was your favorite card. And then you also will be entered in a drawing for a prize. So it's a double win, right? Okay, well, I am Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. This is day 3 of my 4-day kickoff celebration. So I hope you can join me tomorrow, Saturday, on January 13th at 1 p.m. Central. And if you're not in that time zone, you can figure out what time that would be. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.